Hello again. This is Roman Gray bringing you another anime review. And this time we're going to be doing Ayakashi Samurai Horror Tales. This one's a bit interesting because it's 11 episodes long, but there are four different stories, or no, not four different stories, three different stories in the anime. So you have to remember that everything develops pretty quickly, and you kind of have to take these 3 to 4 episodes as movies. And so the world has to be established quickly, and the story has to be established quickly in order for you to understand what's going on and what's happening in the world of these animes. So yeah, it's kind of like watching anime movies, but a little better because they're not actually action movies. They are, as the title implies, horror tales. So the first one is a romance between a samurai named Zuzunosuke. Is his name Zuzunosuke? Sorry, I had to watch the anime so I would not butcher his name. It is Zuzunosuke is the samurai's name, and a fallen god or forgotten god is what they say in the anime, known only as the princess. They don't actually say her name. I do not believe in this first arc. So once then, this romance develops pretty quickly, and it is I I wouldn't call it a horror tale by today's standards. I'd say it's more of a fantasy romance, but it is by no means bad. It's actually pretty good, even though it develops pretty quickly. The next one is an arc between, I think it's Tayomi and Oh my oh hang on. Japanese names. If I don't look them up, I will butcher them to death. I apologize. I have a hard time with Japanese names, but in this case the names are worth mentioning because they do kind of stick with you, even though the animes are really short. So hang on, I have to look up the names here because I don't hear them. I won't pronounce them right. So while we wait, this next arc is a ghost story of where the wife dies and she seeks revenge on her samurai husband, who pretty much betrayed her. It is very good. I don't want to spoil what happens. Well, I guess that might be too late now. Spoiler alert. But it is very good and worth a watch and worth your time. Oewa is the woman, it's the wife. And, okay. The man's name is Tamiya. That's the samurai's name that's in the second arc of this anime. And again, it's very good. It's definitely worth your time. And the settings for these two arcs are very appropriate for horror tales. Nothing's too bright or too dark. It is really good. Things don't get real crazy until you start getting to the second episode of these two arcs. Again, the visuals are a bit strange for an anime, I should say. I don't mean to say they look bad. They just don't look like your typical run of the mill anime with these big ginormous eyes. The eyes are more streamlined, more sleek, which is not a bad thing. There's also particularly good use of color in these two arcs. Um The backgrounds are dark, while the foreground is what, though the foreground is nice and bright. So you do know what you're supposed to be looking at in these first two arcs. And those two parts really do a good job of drawing your eye to what you're supposed to be looking at. That being said, the third arc is a little tricky. First off, none of the main characters really have a name worth mentioning because the main character doesn't even have a name. He's just the medicine peddler. And it's more of a murder mystery type of deal. So it it's interesting with a demon cat. Trust me, it looks more impressive than it sounds. That one is also definitely worth your time. But my only my only issue with that arc is that there is a lot of color. There is just a lot of color. It's as if you had a rainbow and a painting have a baby and an anime came out. That's what it looks like. There's nothing wrong with color. There's nothing wrong with it. But your eye doesn't really know where to go during the wide shots. Like you literally don't know where all the characters are during the wide shots because there's just so much going on. Your eye doesn't really know where to go. And don't get me wrong, it's really pretty. It makes a really striking image, but you really have to focus to tell where the characters are during, you know, when they make the full the full room, the full area appear on the screen. Just be aware of that during your viewing of the third arc. And I gotta say, these animes really have pretty good pacing considering for how short they are. And I'm saying animes as I mean these are three arcs of the same anime. It they are really good and really worth your time. So I do hope you check out Ayakashi Samurai Horror Tales. It is a good watch, a good 11 episodes, so you can get through it in the afternoon. And I would say that the second arc is most like a horror story, a horror tale, what you would expect to see in today's horror movies and you know horror TV shows. And it is a ghost story, so that makes it a little much more interesting. It's not a slasher flick. The other two, I wouldn't say they're horror so much. As I said, the first one's more like a fantasy, a romance fantasy, which is not as bad as it sounds. It's actually really good. And the other one is more of a murder mystery with a creature, which also sounds a lot worse saying it out loud than it does actually viewing it. So I encourage you to watch these. I do recommend these. They are pretty good. We're very striking in their visuals and their style. Um, yeah, so you should definitely watch these. Watch this anime, and I hope you enjoy it. So that be wrapping up now. And it occurs to me that I did not tell you when I would actually be uploading videos. That'll happen every Monday. And like, comment, subscribe, and have a nice day. See you guys next time.